a lot of questions about the hook we saw in this episode. Let's bring out Colin O'Donoghue. And she's our Spotlight Award winner here at the ATV Fest, so get that later tonight. And she happens to play Emma Swan, Jennifer Morrison. For Colin and Jen, did you guys feel any different shooting this season?
It didn't feel tremendously different because we did, like Adam was just saying, there were certain things that were tied up and resolved at the sort of first half finale, and then the second half, even though we're continuing some of the conflicts and themes, has its own feel to it, I think.
Yeah, I agree with Jen.
And I agree with. Every time we get to flashback and we get to see some of Emma's origins when she was a very little girl. Jen, how's that for you? Because I don't know if you know all that information or it's stuff you're learning as we learn in these episodes.
It's a little bit of a combination. There's things that we've talked about over the years and kind of from the beginning, and then as things unfold, then some of it's a surprise, and some of it is like, oh yeah, we talked about that.
It's good for you because you get a day off when they do that.
It's like being there and not being there.
That is makeup, and people don't realize that was Jen. The reality.
I worked so hard on that episode.
She had to lose 3 inches.
Well, somebody who gained a few inches for this episode. How many extra pints did you have to get that nice little belly you were sporting there?
That wasn't actually me, that was somebody else. Yeah, no, that was fun to play. I almost wish that there was a full series just about that.
You really liked it. Really liked it. You had way too much fun.
Was there a lot of work that went into the look of what this hook looked like? His hair and everything?
Yeah, it was a whole process, and I have to give a big shout out to the hair and makeup team on the show for pulling it together, because that's normally you use prosthetics, and that's a very time sort of sensitive thing, and on this the makeup team managed to do all that from scratch, just with like stippling and with sort of putting a latex.
Colin basically looked like he was in a spa the whole time. He's like laying back in the chair, and there's like 4 women fussing over him and doing all this stuff to his face.
Yeah, it was great.
For Colin and Jen, how was it for you guys when some of these actors you may not have seen for a couple seasons come back and it's just kind of starting up again? How's that?
Well, it was fun. It was fun for me because I never got to work with Ian. That was the first time I'd done anything with him. So it was that day was hilarious because I didn't really know exactly what I was going to do, and I think Ian and Jen were like, what is happening?
It was fun.
Because I was like this old fat crazy hook.
It was initially like hard to get through the scenes without laughing.
No, they're literally dailies.
Dailies
You see
are
Jen just
amazing.
like can't control herself laughing. Old Hook is the best.
Did we have dailies where you like laughing till I
Oh,
cried?
it's
that was
tons of
because like
She did
laughing
laugh,
I cried.
yeah. There's one where I had to pick up the chisel.
Yeah.
And sort of go, and we did one take where, and it was really slippy. There was lots of leaves and stuff like that.
Well, it was
and
raining and it was muddy and yeah.
And I fell over, and I was like, this old fat sort of thing. And I actually thought she was going to wet herself.
I mean, picture it. It's really funny because he couldn't really get up because of the whole.
I like him because in his mind, he's like, yeah, I'm awesome. He doesn't quite get that he's old and fat.
That's what makes.
Was it always Gideon in the cape, or did you guys ever catch about that, or was
There's sometimes a stunt guy in there.
Old Hook. No. But his liver gave up before he could do the scene, so we had to give it to Gideon. We always had Gideon.
I would love that if in the end of the season, if you suddenly realised actually it was old fat Hook was in there. Yeah, I've said too much about it.
That's the spin-off. Old Hook, he moves to Palm Beach.
It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom.
From this point forward, how is Captain Swan doing? Are they going to be solid? Get through whatever's coming next?
I can tell you this, if you like Captain Swan, then this second half will be some good Captain Swanage. Unless, of course, they break up or one of them dies. Which could happen. Because we have Old Hook waiting. We don't even, like, you have a spare now that everyone's excited about. So it's like, Emma, Old Hook.
I mean, I have died 4 times already.
Yeah, so what's another one?
Yeah.
It really depends on how you define good.
We could just put Old Hook with Dark Swan. That'd be a weird play.
Well, that's the sitcom. It's like Cheers meets Once Upon a Time.
It's a lot of black leather.
But for Colin and Jen, can you talk a little bit about what we're going to see moving forward? Tease a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, what's been really fun and what we've always really enjoyed with the writing on the show for Captain Swan has been that they have let us be together and see what that looks like, you know, instead of taking us apart together. So we've now been together a long time and we've moved in together, and so there's this fun exploration of what that means and when the stakes are higher and when you start to deal with real relational issues and some of the deeper concerns in a relationship start to come to the surface, and so there's ups and downs with that, you know, and it's been really fun to be able to dive into that stuff and figure out what that means and, you know, kind of do all that.
Yeah.
See why I keep him around?
Oh, that's she's actually right. Sort of, you get to see what it's like for them dealing with being in a real relationship, I guess. But it's still Storybrooke. So even at that, something crazy is always going to happen.
Is there any more flashback or backstory coming for Hook? Because those are always great moments as well.
Yeah, right? Am I remembering right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are. Do you guys want to talk about it? Or
I'm having trouble remembering where we are in the season.
you can see how important I am to him. So,
I can't imagine we wouldn't be.
Oh, which
12.
well, you do. I can say that you do get to see more interaction between Charming and Hook, and
The greatest bromance that ever lived.
yeah. So you get to see their interactions and you know what kind of hijinks and shenanigans they get up to.
You might get to see Hook sing.
Wait a minute, you know who else you might get to see sing? Emma.
Oh yeah.
We may be doing an entire, in fact the rumors are true, we're doing a musical. But it's going to be silent. With words. No, we're doing a musical.
Yeah, we are.
I'm guessing this is something that hasn't been shot yet?
No.
Shortly.
Soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make you guys excited, nervous?
So excited. We're really excited. Yeah. I think. Sorry, was that too vehement? We talk about it a lot. Like.
Yeah, no, we have talked about it. We are really, really excited to do it, and I think out of any show, I think once is the type of show that you can really sort of embrace doing a musical episode and make it as musical-esque as you can.
Because of the worlds and the world jumping and time jump, you know, all the things that we do that are a part of the mythology of the show, it leaves a lot of space to be able to make the music a part of the mythology in a really cool way. And all of us, I mean, most of the cast comes from some kind of musical background, and you know, we've been doing this for 6 years now, and so it's kind of fun to have something completely new to look forward to. So we're all excited about it. It's like a thing, it keeps happening. Yeah.
People keep trying to kill you.
It's so weird.
I never tried to kill her.
You
Never.
haven't tried to kill me.
No, I threatened to jab you with a sword.
To be fair, you left him on a beanstalk to die. But that was season 2. We're bygones.
That was
bygones.
so long ago.
Oh, true love. For them to be very, very different from any incarnation before, because I'm not good enough to do it as well as Dustin Hoffman did his version of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sort of being a little bit flippant, but it's to do some. That was a version that was almost perfect in its incarnation. So you have to try and create something else. And it was a big. We talked about it in interviews earlier on. It was a big sort of. Not fear, but worry for me to take this iconic character, and because the season that I came in, they'd announced at Comic-Con that Hook was coming in, and it was a lot of pressure because he is an iconic character, and my version is so drastically different from what.
Just picturing Emma with the Dustin Hoffman version. A really different story.
But what was great about it is, as a performing arts major or as an actor, is to have to sit there and decide, how am I going to create this character? What am I going to do that's going to be different? How am I going to... Because Captain Hook that I play is very, very different than Colin O'Donoghue as a person. So you have to create a character then. And I think that's the best part about what we do as actors, is to sit there and sort of orchestrate and think about how you go about making a character or a role, and how you're going to make it believable. How am I going to make it that this one-handed 300-year-old pirate is going to actually be relevant to a modern-day audience? You know what I mean? And how do you do that? And what voice are you going to have? Because we talked about maybe even me having my Irish accent, and we sort of decided on having the British one, and then I was like, well, I don't want it to be, very, very like this, very English. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want it to be like that. So I had to figure out what kind of voice is he going to have, and his voice is like, Hook's voice is much deeper than my normal speaking voice. You know what I mean? And it's all that kind of stuff, and then the costume helps you sort of stand a certain way and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I think is fun about it.
You're forgetting the most important part.
Dawson's Creek to House to How I Met Your Mother to now Once Upon a Time with these incredible folks up here, Eddie Kitsis, Adam Horowitz, and Colin O'Donoghue, and everybody else. I've gotten to play these women who are strong and smart and vulnerable and whole people, which is kind of a new thing that's happening these days, which is really cool, and I feel very lucky to get to do this. Like, I would be friends with the women that I play, and that means a lot to me.
What is the dynamic of the cast behind the set?
I think it's pretty much what you see at these, at Comic-Con or here, or, we're all we kind of wear our hearts on our sleeves, I feel like. No? Am I making that up?
No, you're not making that up. I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I couldn't, so she's right.
For rising female artists, especially considering multi-talented directions and pursuits, because I know you do film and producing and all that.
I mean, it's a much better time now. It's the best it's ever been in terms of the world being much more aware of trying to give equal opportunities to women in the business, and there have really been great strides in the last couple of years in terms of the studio's expectations of people to hire female directors on television, which is a big deal. So the opportunities are really starting to present themselves, and I think whether you're a man or a woman, you have to be prepared. You have to really dive into what you love and do everything you can to be as trained and prepared for opportunities for when they come. So I don't know that this is necessarily just female advice. It'd be just advice in the business, which is just, you don't know when your break's going to happen, and you don't know when the opportunities are going to come. So you need to always be ready. You need to always be working on the projects that you believe in. You need to be writing your own things, creating your own things, figuring out what it is that you want to say, and so then when that opportunity is presented to you, you're not caught off guard, and then that opportunity passes you. You want to be ready, you know, and it's the people who really are poised and ready that it might not happen tomorrow, it might happen in a year, it might happen in 2 years, but you have to be ready for when that happens. So that would be the advice I would give.
Well, for me, it's kind of, I came on with a very sort of specific idea as to what I wanted to do with Hook, which was very, very different from anything anybody had done before. And I guess for Eddie and Adam and stuff, it was kind of, you're taking a chance then, because people have a preconceived notion as to what they want that character to be and how they want him to, and this Hook is completely different. So that was sort of an interesting thing to have people respond, but it's we were saying earlier on that it's great to see all these different characters, and we get to experience all these different worlds every episode, so it's like a completely different adventure every week.
What can you say about what's coming up? What are you allowed to talk about and kind of tease for fans?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I don't know. Did we get a list? Did someone tell us what we could say and we can't say?
I know. Yeah, there's certain things that we can.
You can. What can we say?
Well, we can tease that there's. It's not going to be easy for Hook and Emma in the second half of the season. They're going to struggle with the sort of reality of being a couple together for the first time for a period, and then what else I can tease that there will be sort of adventures with Hook and Charming, which is fun, and I think that
might be it.
That might be all.
There are so many things we can't say. And our bosses are here, so we really can't say.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
We were downstairs and they were like, "So don't say this.
And don't say that.
This,
Yeah.
don't say that." Like, are you sure? Yeah. No. And Adam was like, "Eddie, they can't talk about that." And he was like, "Okay." So.
Harry Potter for grown-ups. It's an amazing challenge.
I play Captain Hook, and I'm a completely different version of Captain Hook than anyone had seen before. That's fun because I get to be a villain, I get to be a love interest, I get to be a hero.
From an acting standpoint, I've always found television to be interesting because you don't know the beginning, middle, and end going into it. You know only what's happened so far, and that's kind of like life. You wake up that morning and you don't know what's going to happen that day.
What are the challenges, I guess, of playing characters removed from previous inspiration?
I think mostly there's sort of the advantage of some freedom. I'm not tied to a pre-existing idea of what the child of Snow White and Prince Charming is, So there's been an incredible liberty that's been able to be taken both with Eddie and Adam and their ideas, and then what I do with their ideas, and so ultimately I think it's been like a fun freedom to be able to do that, and I think Emma on this show she represents the audience a lot, and so I try to kind of keep my finger on the pulse of if this was all brand new information, how crazy and weird it would be, and kind of always being in a state of discovery in a sense. So it's just been fun for the most part.
For me, I mean, obviously Hook was sort of a well-known character, and when I came on, I definitely didn't want it to be like Dustin Hoffman's Hook, because, I mean, you're never going to do it any better than that. And so I wanted him to be a completely different version, and I was trying to figure out, there's a reason why people were drawn to Hook the way he was written, and I was trying to figure out what that was and where that charisma and stuff came from. And I mean, in a sense, for me, is similar to what Jen said, because he's almost like a completely new character, you know what I mean? So I got to play and get to sort of do whatever I want within the realms of who he is,
I feel like you have something else to say about that, like even being ready as an actor, like to take advantage of opportunities.
I think it's important, it's a difficult business overall, full stop, to try and succeed in, and you have to, for me, I think it's mostly about self-belief, and if you really feel like you've got something that you can offer, that you can bring, and that you feel passionate about, then it's important to focus on that, mostly when you're at your lowest, more so than ever.
It's also cool because, I mean, I have a different experience because Emma Swan is Eddie and Adam's creation, and so she isn't in the original Disney mythology. She's a new part of the Disney mythology, but I grew up on Disney movies and Disney characters, and one of the things that I thought was really cool was in the pilot, they weren't sure if they were going to let Snow White hold a sword, because you'd never seen Snow White wield a weapon in Disney mythology ever before. And so not only did she end up holding the sword in the pilot, but she ends up becoming an archer, and we were able to be a part of that transition where the Disney princess also became a Disney warrior, and so it was very cool to be able to be a part of that transition in pop culture.
Characters for so long, is there anything that still kind of like surprises you about them, or do you feel like you know them pretty well by now?
I think we know them pretty well.
I feel like I know Emma better than I know myself.
Yeah, I guess I think we know them really well at this stage.
It's a funny thing that happens at some point when you do it for this long, or you play a character for this long, you start to feel them. So it's not even knowing them, it's like you get a scene and you feel what they would do. And it's kind of a weird moment where you go, wow, I feel this for her the same way I would feel it for myself.
Right.
Because it's been, we've spent more hours a day pretending to be Hook and Emma than we've spent as ourselves over the last 5 years. So,
flashbacks sometimes surprise me with some of the stuff that they have Hook do in the flashbacks. I forget because Hook at the minute is a hero and sort of redeemed character, and you know they're in love and stuff like that. And I forget sometimes forget that he was like really really bad. So yeah, that surprises me sometimes.
However, can no longer act with two hands.
I can't act with two hands. I can't. So.
He's a one-handed actor now.
Yeah, but I am good at that.
You're very, very good at it.
Valentine's Day advice would you offer your characters?
For our characters?
Yes, for your characters.
I just, my brain exploded. I was like, run and hide! I don't know. I'm really uncomfortable about
I would advise them to lock the front door and don't let Grumpy come anywhere near them proclaiming about some sort of monster that's trying to, and let them just sit down and have a glass of wine and watch TV for more than like 10 minutes before the next big thing happens in Storybrooke.
I think Rum would definitely be involved in
Actually,
Valentine's Day.
my advice to them would be move out of Storybrooke.
Yeah, exactly. We need to go somewhere else where we aren't fighting a monster on Valentine's Day.
It's probably good advice.
Take a vacation from the monsters.
I watched Hell or High Water last night.
Love that.
On the flight down, and it was amazing.
It's really good.